And yes, I'm still here in the same spot. As you could see in the other vlogs before, this is a very good spot and it's very difficult to go away. Even now I'm in my third week here and I start to feel like moving a little bit. But it's very difficult to leave because this place is so good, so good. But then in the vlog I also been showing new places and new stuff, and makes a little difficult to me to do a vlog in that way because there's nothing new to show you. Oh, it's been 3 weeks here in the same spot, so. And that's why this week I'm not doing a vlog the way I always do. I'm just doing this video where I'm answering some of your questions. I've been receiving a few lately. So we're gonna talk about 3 main subjects that you asked me. About insurance, not just for the car but traveling insurance, and about the worst thing about living in a van, the worst thing of all of it, and about internet, how to have internet on the road. And so let's start for the traveling insurance, that most of the time you don't even need. I don't have any. In Europe, and of course I know much better about Europe, we can play with it, with the car insurance and credit card insurance as well. There are many that cover traveling, and in some countries the car insurance covers even healthcare in foreign countries. So if we go traveling, I know for sure in France, for example, the insurance there are good, and if you go travel somewhere else and you have and you're sick, you need to go to the hospital, the car insurance covers everything. I know a guy that he had an accident in another car, not in his own car, which he was traveling with. So he went to a foreign country driving, and there with someone else he had an accident, and his car insurance paid everything, even an ambulance plane to put him back to France, and everything was paid, everything was covered. And many other European countries we can have that in the car insurance, sometimes only for a little bit more. We have a traveling insurance with the car, and lots of banks do that as well with the credit card. So check your car insurance and your bank insurance that you always have with your credit card. Sometimes you pay a very low fee and comes with a very good insurance, so that way you don't need insurance for traveling. And about the car insurance, especially in the Western Europe side, you don't have all the European countries on it, so you need to add more countries. But it's not very expensive, and you can do it for 6 months, for a year, for a month, I think. I've done that in 2010, that I had to add 7 or 8 countries to my insurance, and I remember that it was very cheap. It was very cheap, so it's not a big deal. If you have a European car traveling in Europe, even if you need to do a new insurance, you can do it in your home country, and it's not a problem. But it's going to be different if you're traveling to different continents. Most of the time you need to buy the insurance in the border, so when you are getting in to a new country in a new continent, there they have an office to do insurance that most of the time are a little bit expensive. So if you only go to a different country, maybe you can arrange everything before, but if you're traveling in a different continent, from one country to the other, and being free without a day to get out or get in. And then I think you'll need to buy in every border a new insurance, and it's going to be, of course, a little bit expensive. But that's the way it is. There are some countries that don't even ask for insurance. I know that in Mongolia you don't need an insurance there. I'm not 100% sure, but more than 90% sure that still is that way. So some countries are different. You need to check to see where you're going. But in Europe, it's very easy. And even if you come to Europe with a car from outside Europe, they are pretty good solutions. Pretty good. I think maybe the best solution is to buy a car here, especially in Germany. You can buy a plate with insurance for 3 months or 6 months, and that way you don't need to worry about anything else. And so this is a very interesting subject about the worst thing about living in a van, and the worst thing about, because I talked in other vlog about good and bad things and things we can handle and we need to adapt to, but this is what is for me the very bad thing that can happen is when several days in a row there's not a good place to sleep, and we drive, we look, and we find nothing, or we find and the neighbors don't like to have a camper van there and they may call the police. It happens. There are some countries that my French neighbors that were here before, they were telling me about one country where they've been that that happened almost every night. People would call the police so they don't stay there, even in public places. Of course, you can always fight a little bit against it, and if you have a van a little bit like mine that looks like a normal van, not a camper van, it can be easier. But sometimes most of the time I want to stop in places like this and put my table, my chair out and do my things outside. And can happen that several days in a row we don't find a place to stay, and can be very, very annoying. That's by far, for me, from my point of view, the worst thing about living in a van, that I can be months in a row without happening. And recently it happened for almost 2 weeks, constantly. For those 2 weeks, every 2 or 3 days, I needed to move because there are people calling the police and stuff like that. But just happens. Then we need to be as well prepared in our mind to things like that. And I think is by far the worst thing, because it's very disappointed. We feel very low sometimes because we just want to stop and enjoy a relaxed day. But if we are forced to move, that's very, very annoying. And then finally, to finish this small video answering these questions, the last one is about internet. How to have internet on the road. I'm gonna talk about the 2 ways I have internet. One is for free and another one I pay for it. Paying is simple. I just buy a SIM card. Now, since last month in European Union, you can have a SIM card from one country and it will be the same price in all the other countries, so you don't pay more just because you're changing countries, so you don't even need to buy a new SIM card, and with the same you can have internet everywhere. And if you can buy it in a country where it's not very expensive, can be very cheap, and that's very good. And for me, because of the videos, and I'm uploading videos all the time, I always need a good internet. So I have always paid internet. I pay. Then it depends a lot how many videos I upload, and lately, because MotoGP stopped for 3 weeks, I spend less because I always watch the race and the qualification. So those are the two things that take my internet. But here in Greece, I spend around 20 euros a month. So every time I put more internet is 9 euros more or less. So it's not very, very, very expensive. And I try not to spend much. Sometimes I try to use free internet when I go to some place, or using, and this is a very good solution, my two antennas with a router inside. I can pick up internet from bars or restaurants, even if now mine is not working. But it's not expensive to buy antennas like the ones I have, or you can even buy one antenna that mine are on the roof. You can buy one that you just put it where you are. When you find internet, you stop it and you leave the antenna like that, and you'll have internet. I've seen people doing that, and that's always a very, very good solution, because there's always a beach bar with internet. But of course, weekends not gonna work very well because there are too many people using the internet. If you only need to check emails and talk with friends and family on Facebook or stuff like that, or WhatsApp, it's more than enough, and will be for free. So that's a very, very good solution. And that's it. I think it was a very short video, but with some interesting, all of them very interesting subjects. So hope you like it, and we see each other again very soon. Have a nice evening. Take care.